I've been getting requests since literally the very beginning. Technically, the Splinter was a request, and I tend to check them out if I can find good enough footage. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. But the more requests I get, the more that I know that I have to review whatever episode. Spongebob You're Fired is my most requested episode ever, with dozens of different people asking me about it. It aired about 2 weeks ago, and at present it is the latest SpongeBob episode to air. I watched it, and my god, I'm pretty sure that half my brain exploded. An episode like this comes around only once in a great while, and when it does, you gotta just drop everything and kill it with fire! We're actually starting with the concept. SpongeBob getting fired. This was really hyped up as a major thing. Here's the problem. SpongeBob has been fired on numerous occasions before. Unless this was supposed to be a series finale, I don't know what the hell the big deal is. But anyway, on to the actual episode. The plot gets off the ground really quick with SpongeBob throwing a piece of paper on the grill. It catches fire, burns down the majority of the Krusty Krab, and that forces Mr. Krabs to fire SpongeBob in an actually heart-wrenching scene. No, that would be the right thing to do. Instead, the plot doesn't seem to want to get started, and we're treating to 2 minutes of extremely boring filler. Yeah, that's one of the bigger problems with the episode. For the majority of this 22 minutes, absolutely nothing happens! After that pointlessness, Mr. Krabs comes by and says that SpongeBob is fired for, I'm not kidding here, a fucking nickel.
You know I love you like a son, but you can't argue with a nickel.
And you can't argue with logic, Mr. Krabs. How exactly does firing your best fry cook, who ends up bringing in the majority of your customers, possibly save any money whatsoever?
How about if I work for free?
Apparently, it's illegal, and I lose my vendor's license.
Doing illegal shit hasn't stopped you before, you fat bastard.
Hey, what about me? Can I get fired too?
I'm afraid not, Squidward. You've got seniority.
I thought that the corporate scumbags tried to get rid of the employees with seniority because they'd save more money that way. The ways this logically doesn't make any fucking sense are piling up rapidly. And we're pretty much still dealing with the concept here. Then we get, I call them visual gags, but they aren't remotely funny. And then this episode decides to go a day without tears. We get, I'm not kidding, more than an entire minute that consists of almost nothing but SpongeBob crying, which is, for the record, one of the most annoying sounds in the world. To be fair, there are things going on in the background, but
I'm not a very strong swimmer.
You're a fucking fish! Eventually, Squidward kicks SpongeBob out and does a bunch of gloating that really makes him seem like an ass.
But now that SpongeBob's gone, who will be running the grill?
Yeah, that's a good question, considering that neither of you assholes can cook.
No, I was 5 times golden spatula in the Navy.
No, you were head chef on the SS Diarrhea, and you couldn't even cook peas. We've done all of this before. I mean, you guys have ripped off like 4 episodes already. Hell, even the damn title's a ripoff. So, what are we going to rip off now?
Hey, Gary, I'm home.
Oh no, you'd better not rip off a pal for Gary. You better fucking not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here I am wallowing in my misery, and it's past your dinner time.
Holy fucking shit. Never mind SpongeBob getting fired. Him actually caring about Gary for once in his life? That's what you should have announced as the special. I mean, that's something that I legitimately haven't seen in years. Then SpongeBob starts crying some more, which is then echoed by Patrick. Oh great, he's in this episode. This can't be good. He says he was crying because SpongeBob was crying. Fan-fucking-tastic. He comes in through the window. Haha, get it? He didn't use the door. Then we get a few jokes that are just used to pad out the episode.
Frothy frappe? I can't think of any more food that starts with the letter C, SpongeBob.
Tell a story. Barring that, at least only waste 11 minutes of my time. Eventually, SpongeBob admits that he got fired, and Patrick tells him that it's great to be unemployed. That's a great lesson for the kids. So the next day, Patrick is going to teach him the wonders of unemployment. He goes over to SpongeBob's house to see a clever callback to the very first SpongeBob ratings trap. Oh, and SpongeBob looking like a wreck, maybe. Compared to the disturbing faces that the show has shoved in front of me, he actually looks halfway presentable. If this is them trying to gross me out, they're losing their touch. Their first stop is Squidward's house. They annoy him to get food tossed at them which they use for breakfast. Squidward, for some reason, is stupid enough to throw food at both of them. You'd think that Squidward would be ecstatic, considering that SpongeBob was just fired yesterday. I'd expect him to be in a really cheery mood, and having a party, or at least at work. If I point out all the fucking plot holes, we'll be here all day. Then Patrick decides to take a nap. This is a long and tedious segment. Nothing of substance happens. SpongeBob puts snail slime on himself, gross, and tries to hook onto the rock. Then we see him just breathing loudly for way too fucking long. It's another long portion of nothing happening. Hell, waiting had more of a plot than this stupid episode. I mean, there's one part where SpongeBob eats a part of himself, and it grows back. That's something, right?
Feeling any better yet?
I will when you tell a fucking story! Patrick says that free lunch with friends always cheers him up, so they go to Sandy's Tree Dome. where some people seem to be eating experimental food. The first guy seems to be allergic to it. Then it completely mutates Patrick. Sandy sees SpongeBob and... oh god. I'm thinking about taking back what I said about face freeze.
What are you doing with these here freeloaders?
Question. Isn't one of those freeloaders your friend? When SpongeBob tries to eat the stuff, Sandy stops him.
This here's a psychological test to see how much weird gunk folks will eat. If it's free.
Wow. I mean fucking wow. Hey Sandy, don't you think that the homeless might want to try a free food? Also, don't you think that scientists should have some kind of morality? This is something that Plankton would be doing, or should be doing, not you. Hell, Andrew Ryan wouldn't do shit like that. Then we get...
SpongeBob, you're a mess. You're falling apart.
Get it? You probably thought that they already used all those fucking jokes, but no, they still got a few. They were saving that one. Sandy tells SpongeBob that he needs to get a new job. When he tells Patrick this, the mutated head thing smack talks him.
I'm going to punch your face. In the face.
SpongeBob makes his muscle go away and...
I'm ready! Woohoo!
holy shit. Did he really say that?
I'm ready!
It's like a voice from the heavens.
I'm ready for a new job,
It almost sounds like Tom Kenny's out of practice saying SpongeBob's supposed catchphrase. Unfortunately, that's the highlight of this episode. Now it goes downhill. Extremely fast. Instead of ripping off one episode, we gotta rip off two now. SpongeBob goes into a hot dog place, and the writers pretty much shrink Krusty dogs. Unfortunately, SpongeBob can't cook anything but Krabby Patties. You know, the entire conflict from the Big Switch. It's gonna help pad out this episode. The hot dog guy is not pleased. And neither is the pizza guy, the taco guy, or the noodle guy. By the way, each of these processes were as long as the first one. SpongeBob goes home and once again remembers to feed Gary. Unfortunately, they're out of snail food. So SpongeBob needs to make some of his own. Let me guess. He accidentally makes a Krabby Patty. Actually, no. He makes a can of snail food. Then why the fuck couldn't he make the other food like he was supposed to? Gary likes it, and despite SpongeBob placing all the contents in Gary's bowl and the can in the trash, Patrick somehow has some, and he likes it too.
What's that, Gary? It's the best food you've ever had?
So, does SpongeBob start selling snail food and become a corporate mastermind? Nope, he gets kidnapped by the hot dog people. That subplot goes absolutely nowhere. In fact, it's completely forgotten about from this point forward. Apparently, the hot dog guy regretted their decision to fire SpongeBob. Call him back and say that it was a misunderstanding. You don't have to fucking kidnap him!
Thing is, my customers love your little sliders.
You mean the ones that you threw on the floor?
I'm pretty sure this is illegal.
Nothing that you aren't used to, SpongeBob. The pizza guy frees SpongeBob and kidnaps him. You know where this is going. The noodle guy and the taco guy also tried kidnapping SpongeBob, despite the former throwing SpongeBob's food out at him, and the latter having SpongeBob's food spray his customers in the face. All of a sudden, a burger superhero comes by and saves SpongeBob by destroying the other food. It's not as exciting as it sounds.
It's the Killer Patty!
So is this a common occurrence then? Bikini Bottom apparently now has a patty superhero. The hot dog gives up and gets hit by a bus. One-course meal flashbacks. The Killer Patty takes SpongeBob back to the Krusty Krab because Mr. Krab sucks as a chef. Apparently it was Squidward in the costume. Who knew that he could brawl like that? Oh wait, he can't. At all. They want SpongeBob back. And SpongeBob? This is where you tell Mr. Krabs to fuck off. You are able to make grade A snail food, which you can continue to make and sell, probably making a great living off of, while the guy who fired you for a fucking nickel goes out of business. But no, the status quo is God. You know what? That is my new least favorite cliche. You're off the hook, mopey dopey love talk. In a blatant recycling of the beginning of the episode, SpongeBob starts cleaning up the restaurant and puts Squidward in a dress. If this episode has anything, fucking anything, it's that that's the extent of misery that Squidward goes through. I mean, they could have easily hit him with that door. First time I watched this, I thought he phased through it. For some reason, the Krusty Krab gets all the customers back that were chased off, including the guys who kidnapped SpongeBob. No, that doesn't make any sense. At all. Unless they're gonna try to kidnap SpongeBob again afterwards. Oh, and Mr. Krabs, because he couldn't afford to lose a fucking nickel, put in a pay toilet, which probably cost hundreds of dollars to install. Before I show you guys this animated Atrocities note page, I want to show you the one for one course meal. Remember that the higher the number, the worse the episode is. Now here's the one for One Night in Gottlieb, an episode from the worst cartoon ever made. Now here's the one for SpongeBob You're Fired. If the Splinter was the point where the show officially needed to die, this is the point where Nickelodeon officially needs to die. Let's hope they take Viacom with it when they do.